Welcome, friends, to the Healthy Life, to our 6th episode with Ben and Mary. We're so excited to see you. Thank you for everyone that caught last week's episode. We had such good feedback about our hills. That's all I'm going to tell you. If you still want to watch it, it's up on the YouTube channel, on our Healthy YouTube channel. I'm excited to be here. I know Mary's excited to be here. Every week we love bringing you these wonderful topics and bringing you and us to our best selves. We're our best selves. So Mary's got some exciting stuff to tell you. We're doing a really good topic today. Talk to us, Mary.
Hi guys. So again, thank you so much for all our support for the Healthy Life. We just love you guys. If you have not yet checked out one of our co-hosted meetings on Monday night, we co-host a meeting for Healthy on Monday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
7 Central, don't forget our
7
friends.
Central, because that's where our manager's from. Shout out to Jordan. Okay, guys. So today's topic is about food freedom. I'm going to give you a second. Get a paper, get a pen, a pencil, a crayon, a highlighter. I don't care what you're writing with.
I'm going to get some food.
Get some food. You can find your freedom from it. This is really, really important. If you guys did miss the episode number 4, we talked about my recovering binge eating. And this is how I found my food freedom. But this is not only for binge eaters. This is for anybody who overeats or has an unhealthy relationship with food. This is important. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. You can realize if you have an unhealthy relationship with food, if you can say that you have a specific food or a food group that is a no eat or no food. Do you have any of those groups, or have you ever decided that you're gonna just swear off something, or it's just like a no food for you?
Me, yeah. Entenmann's. 100 pounds ago, I had stock in Entenmann's. I think I should have had stock in them. And anytime I brought Entenmann's, or basically any baked goods, cakes, I'd eat one sliver and then another sliver and then another sliver, and then by like 4 o'clock, the whole thing was gone, finished, finite. And I find the same thing with Italian pastries and anything that deals with carbohydrates and sugar. So a double-edged sword.
Double whammy. I think we're all there, and I think society as a whole sets us up for this unhealthy relationship with food. So if you can identify a food that for you is a trigger food or a no food or a just do not eat food, you might have an unhealthy relationship with food. And that's okay, because probably a lot of us do. So having those restrictive foods will set you up with an unhealthy relationship with food and can precipitate you to have a restrictive eating disorder, anywhere from anorexia to binge eating, because you're restricting certain foods. And we know that deprivation is not sustainable. What do I mean by that?
Well, deprivation is not sustainable because it's based on willpower. And if you swear off of food forever, like I could say, all right, I'm going to swear off of pizza for the rest of my life. I'm going to swear off of pizza. And then there's going to be that one time when I'm at a weak moment and somebody's going to bring 3 pizza pies and they're going to put them in front of me. And I haven't had pizza in 9 months. Well, it's going to be off to the races for Ben because my willpower is low. You should never swear off of a specific food. You should learn how to manage a specific food.
Absolutely. And this is where we can start fixing that unhealthy relationship. Also, if you are at a point and you have said, I'm not going to eat I'm not going to eat pizza, let's say, and now you're at maintenance goal. If you have not fixed your unhealthy relationship with food, I'm sorry to tell you, the chances are of you regaining, if not all your weight, some of your weight, It's very high. It's very high because you have not fixed that root cause of like your unhealthy relationship with food. And if you don't gain the weight back, chances are that you're going to trade your food addiction with another type of an addiction. It's just what the research shows. That's why when you're going for weight loss surgery, they have you see a psychiatrist to make sure that you're not going to trade your food addiction for another addiction. It's a serious thing, this unhealthy relationship with food. Okay. So let's take a step back. You have to realize that one Entenmann's cookie, it's not going to make you gain weight.
I forgot they made cookies. Yeah, the little chocolate chip. Oh my.
Oh my gosh, they're so soft. Oh, the soft fake ones. Oh my gosh. I'm a foodie, guys. I'm a foodie. I eat everything. So let me tell you how you can eat everything and still maintain your weight loss. It's fixing that relationship. So one of those little tiny Entenmann's cookies, it's not going to make you gain weight. One box of cookies in one day is probably going to make you gain weight overnight. But those cookies are not going to jump in your mouth. Believe it or not, you are in control. So this is where you start. First of all, you have to realize you're in control. You're the boss of what goes inside your mouth. Next, schedule one time a week. This is where you guys got to get out your pen and paper because this is a proven path to go down. It's a process, but you can do it. And when I was told at first that I can also do it, especially being a binge eater, I was like, what, are you crazy? You don't know me. Blah, blah, blah. It's doable.
You said it just like that?
I was like, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, well, maybe not all those great things, but I'm trying to wash my mouth. I'm going to get edited out. So schedule one time a week that you can have your Entenmann's cookies or your donut. We'll say a donut, right? Because I'm going to move on to a single serving package. So schedule once a week that you're going to have a donut, one donut, because that's going to be your trigger food. Guys, please remember, this is not a reward for being on track all week. You are not a dog. We do not get rewarded with food. You are allowed to have that one donut this week and next week and every single week for the rest of your life just because you're allowed to have one donut. It is not a reward for being on track. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Eat your darn donut. Okay. So schedule your one donut once a week, and then I want you to eat it mindfully. What kind of techniques can you give our members about eating mindfully?
I think it's a skill that they have to practice, and they got to get out of our heads. We've got to get out of our heads. So if our weight is up this week or down, we should still have that donut. Mm-hmm. You know, if we want to have a good relationship with food. For me, do I still have cake and cookies once in a while? Of course, I'm human, but I don't keep the box right next to me because then that old mindset creeps in and says, you know what? Well, I said I was going to have one, then I'm going to have two, and then I got to get this box out of my house. I have to plan for it. You know, if you plan for it, and always, guys, you know, if you're going to start any type of weight loss program, exercise program, always seek a doctor's advice because, you know, that's where it all starts. But if you make a plan, you'll start to see this happen. Like back in my glory days when I was 300 pounds, I used to go to Dunkin' Donuts every day after work faithfully. I would plan on getting a coffee, but I would end up getting 2 donuts. Mm-hmm. And eventually, when I started losing the weight in the beginning, I would say the first 20 pounds, Mary, I found that my palate wasn't there for the donuts as much as it used to be. Mm-hmm. It was more of a habit, which, as you say, is the unhealthy relationship with food, the habit of getting the donuts rather than really wanting donuts. Face it, Dunkin' Donuts donuts at 4 o'clock are not the freshest things in the world. They were
It's
like
true.
hockey pucks.
Uh,
This ain't Dunkin' Donuts of the 80s. What was that guy's name with the
oh, he like
mustache?
made it all the time.
Yeah, time to make the donuts. It wasn't 5 a.m. So we have to be careful, and we have to listen to our palate as well, because some of these foods that were trigger foods, they may not be trigger foods anymore.
Is it
You,
worth it? Was that
yeah.
donut that you really, so listen, so
Well, if it was
this
pumpkin spice, well, that's another
should have
meeting.
icing on it. I need anything with icing. Anything with icing is
That's
great.
another episode in October
We'll
of the
get to
Healthy
all the
Life. The pumpkin
we're gonna
spice
have a meeting
episode.
about we're gonna have a meeting about food and what's the tastiest. Listen, guys, that's something too. Is it worth it? That's such a great point, Ben. Is it worth it? Think about what you really want. And let me tell you something. It might be a donut this week. It might be a muffin next week. It might be eggplant rollatini this week.
Oh yeah, that's in my
Right? I know you
refrigerator
love
right
that.
now.
I know
And
you
some
love
beautiful
that.
sausage and peppers. And I
Sausage
didn't
and
eat it.
peppers.
I didn't eat it.
But you need to plan that trigger food once a week. But I'm going to tell you, just like Ben said, he really hit it on the head right there. In the beginning, you're not going to be able to trust yourself to have it in the house. You want to know why? Because you have that unhealthy relationship with food and you're like, I need to get it out of the house because I can't control myself. Yes, you can. But in the beginning, I'm going to tell you, don't keep that in the house. So if it's a baked goods, you're going to take your car to Stop and Shop, not Dunkin' Donuts because they're not fresh, Wawa because they're individually packaged now because of COVID, so they're nice and fresh. You're going to go that Entenmann's pie, oh, those fruit pies. Oh, you're going to go get that single serving treat, that indulgence, okay? And you're going to bring it home. You're not going to eat in the car. You're going to bring it home. You're going to sit down. You're going to put it on your prettiest plate. You might even
Wait, I
eat it
can't
with
eat it in the car?
No, you're not going to, because it's going to be an experience. Because you know what? You're allowed to enjoy it. This is not, oh my gosh, let me shove it in my face because I can never have this. No, you're going to enjoy that indulgent food that you've scheduled and you've tracked and you're not feeling guilty about because you're going to sit down with it. You're going to enjoy all the senses. You're going to look at that pretty thing. You're going to smell it. You're going to feel it up. I don't care what you do to make it an enjoyable experience because it is okay and you are in control and you're going to enjoy it until your next time that next week. So that is where the start is. Planning an indulgent treat once a week, tracking it and enjoying every moment of it. I don't care if that pie takes you 40 bites and takes you an hour to eat. Enjoy it. A single
She makes
serving.
pie sexy.
Right? It's all gooey and yummy. Okay, next. So when you really feel like now you're able to handle that indulgent treat once a week, it hasn't caused you to binge, it hasn't caused you to the next day buy a whole package of cookies and eat the whole thing. You're in control of this, right? You're feeling good. The next step is, don't kill me. If I can see all your daggers on me right now, I would be a little bit nervous. The next step is you are allowed to keep it in your house.
No, I gotta lock it up in the car trunk.
Or in the car trunk, so you have to go out when it's really cold, because we know Ben will not go out when it's really cold. But you're allowed to keep it in the house. You're going to schedule 3 to 6 bites to have an indulgence every single day for the rest of your life. Mind blowing.
You need a plan. You have to plan for it. You know, a funny thing too is we talk about these indulgence and the trigger foods. Your indulgences may change. Like, for example, you realize that, fast food was the friend. I had a great relationship with the clown and the girl with the red pigtails. I put her through college. But the thing is, now I don't want fast food. I skeeve it. Like when my kids want Happy Meals, I'll go to McDonald's. But the old version of me would order food from McDonald's and a meal for the ride home. You know, the sneak meal. Because
I know that. I know that.
why not? You know, I can wolf down 2 cheeseburgers easy on the ride home. But now, going back to, is it worth it? No, I'd rather eat a burger from someplace else now. You know, I'd rather eat better quality food than, because food is fuel, you know, and why eat junk if it doesn't appeal to you anymore, just to eat it.
Right. Just to eat it. Right.
You'll see this method really works. It will change your life.
It really works because no food is off limit and no food controls you. You control the food. So now here you go. You're allowing yourself 3 to 6 bites every single day to have an indulgence. And you know what? It's okay if you're taking it out of your weeklies and spreading it across that day. This also will prevent you from binging and restrictive eating just to make your weight, which we talked about in episode 4, because that's where your binging and purging comes in. You're allowed to have something indulgent spread every single day throughout the week. Now, when you're first starting this, I would suggest having that indulgent treat right before you go to bed. It's not going to put weight on you that you're eating right before you go to bed. It's a little tiny something. Guys, 3 to 4 bites might be a Reese's peanut butter cup. It might be a snack size Almond Joy. It might be an Entenmann's small cookie, right? But what you're doing is you're telling your brain, I'm allowed to have this every single day for the rest of my life. I no longer need to overeat this. But if you're eating it right before you go to bed, you're not starting your taste buds and your palate saying, oh, now I want something else. It's okay, here's my Entenmann's cookie. I'm going to eat it. I'm going to enjoy it. And I'm going to bed. I'm going to go brush my teeth, use some mouthwash, and I'm going to bed. But it retrains our thought process that we've had for so many years, saying that cookies or I'm a candy person, that cookies or candy are only for special occasions. We're not children where we have to, like, you can't have a candy bar because of your teeth. Like, brush your teeth. We're adults. It's okay. This is about healing your unhealthy relationship with food. This will stop you from overeating your trigger foods because you're allowed to have it. I had a Reese's peanut butter cup every single day before bed for a year because that was my thing. You know what? I barely eat them anymore. Because I just had them so much. It was no longer a novelty. I can have it whenever I want because I'm in control.
All right. And you'll find that the things you used to like, you really didn't like, because some of those foods you didn't even taste.
Never.
Never. You know, you imagine the taste, and you got to think, I know the price of gas is very high right now, but you got to think, your body's a Ferrari. What kind of fuel are you going to put in it? Cheap gas? No. You're going to put in high test gas because you only got one body. A car you can trade in. But, you know, so many people take care of their cars or spend money on their cars than they do on their bodies. You know, and that's not the way to think. That's not the mindset. You're worth it. All this can lead to healthy lifestyle. I mean, if you follow this, you'll notice that you'll identify what's going to work for you, and it'll prevent overeating. It'll prevent binge eating disorders. But swearing off and doing all these type of things, learn yourself. That's what you want to be. Learn yourself. Learn what you like. You could manage it. You're in control. Food, the cookies, the Entenmann cake did not fly off the counter into my mouth. I had to cut it, and I made a cognitive decision. And food does not fix your problems. You know, that is a big one. Food does not fix your problems.
Yes, you always tell me the answer is not in the kitchen. I love when you
the answers are not in the kitchen, and it's not at the drive-through. and it's not the delivery man, and it's not Uber Eats. It's the problem needs to be solved. The food does nothing but make the situation worse.
Exactly. And you know what? The food makes the situation worse because you're overeating that food and because you've been told that that food is bad food.
Right.
Because you know what? If you overeat oranges, guess what? That's going to hurt you too. If you overeat anything, it's going to hurt you. Everything in moderation. Now, because it is a process, right? This is not your overeating, and your unhealthy relationship with food was not built in a week. This is not going to happen in a week.
Was it?
This is a process, right? And that's okay if we have a few hills in our process that we have to get over. So
that was last week's episode.
Right, it's last week's episode. So if you missed it, go ahead and just click on back and check it out. So if you're hitting that hill, and let's say you thought you were ready to have inside the house and you didn't, you just had that whole box of cookies. What do you do now? Do you give up? Do you just give up and say, nope, I'm always going to have an unhealthy relationship with food. I'm never going to eat cookies ever again. Nope, deprivation is not sustainable. So this is what you do. You have a journal. You have a journal and you say, okay, Mary, or okay, Ben, I'm putting you on the spot again. Ben, you just had your whole box of cookies. So you're going to pull out your journal and you're going to say, well, I just ate the whole box of cookies. What happened? What precipitated it?
What was the trigger?
What were my feelings? What were my thoughts? What were you thinking about?
Because I had planned to only have one cookie. I have to find out what took place between that first and second cookie. And it sounds funny, friends, but it was a cognitive decision to break my contract with myself. So I have to find out why I broke my contract. But I did have the contract. So that is a win. Just making that contract and thinking about what caused me to not accomplish my goal of having one cookie. That's a win. Next time when I try to have the cookie again, we'll see where it goes. But if we beat ourselves up and say, oh no, this doesn't work. Those two guys that told me on the Healthi Life, Coach Ben and Mary, they told me this, but it doesn't work. No, it does work, but
don't give up.
It takes time and investment, because week one may not have went perfect. You might have had that whole box of cookies. Okay, whoopee, you got another week. Right. And then you might have 2 cookies or 3 or maybe none. And then you might not even like those cookies anymore. You might want to find something else that may be more rewarding to you. And it doesn't have to be food.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes. I don't even know. You just said 80,000 billion terrific things. Guys, never give up. Never give up. Never give up on yourself. This is absolutely doable. So you had that box of cookies. What happened when you broke that contract? But first of all, hold on. Guess what? You're right. Ben, you said it so right. You had a contract with yourself. Hold on to that small victory that you even attempted to heal your relationship with food, because I can guarantee you, for most of us, this has been over a decade in the workings of building that unhealthy relationship. So you should be so proud of yourself that you took that first step to make that commitment to yourself and that contract to yourself anyway. Hold on to that small victory so you know not to give up, so you know that it's doable. Let's say you ate that whole box of cookies because it was in the house. Take a step back, reevaluate, and maybe go back to scheduling it once a week. Right? Maybe you weren't ready to have it in the house, and that's okay. But maybe you just got laid off from your job and you needed that box of cookies in your mind, right? Try again next week. It was like precipitating environmental factors that, like whatever, life does happen. And we're going to have our hills. We're going to have our struggles, but I can guarantee that if you're able to push through this process, you are going to be a much healthier person overall. Your life is going to be a healthy life because it starts in your mind. This is not about weight. This is not about overeating and the weight that you put on. This is about your mind and the control that food has over your mind and making you feel not in control of your own body.
Yeah, so you always hear, I can't have this, I can't have that, I can have this. You can have anything you want, but
Mm-hmm.
manage it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what
Every
to do. You know what to do. We don't have to come to your house and empty out your refrigerator and your cupboards. We know what to do.
right.
And we have faith in you. We have faith in you, and you can heal your relationship with food so that you don't have to use that I can't word anymore.
Yes, yes, it's so doable. And honestly, healthy gives you all the tools that you need to be successful in your commitment to yourself. I mean, literally, they have everything for $24.99 for the year. I mean, you honestly cannot beat that. But not only do you get an amazing app with all these plans, you also get coaches that are amazing, like Ben and I. I mean, we're always here.
And
We're
that's a
always
year,
available
$24.99.
for the year. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't beat that, but you get so much more. You get so much support, especially if you really are struggling. We're here for you. We have
You
members
got to
that
visit
reach out
our
to us.
webpage for the code, though, our Facebook page.
Oh yeah,
Or
our
it's
Facebook page.
$30.
Yeah, our Facebook page is Coach Ben and Mary's Weight Loss, Wellness, and Fun. And definitely look back at our other episodes if you've missed them. And again, thank you all for your support. These episodes really actually come from us hearing from you what your struggles are and what you need a little bit more advice on, because we're here for you. This is way beyond the scale. That's what this is about, the healthy life. And we're so grateful that you're watching and supporting us.
Yes, and Monday nights, catch our meetings. They're still free at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 Central.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to catch us on our meetings, but Healthy is excellent, and just thank you for letting us come into your wellness journey, because we're proud of you.
We are.
On that
Thank you
note,
so
we'll
much.
see you next Thursday. Ben and Mary, we'll see you. And you guys just keep up the good work. And we hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Have a great day.
Have a healthy life. Bye.